All right, here we are once again. What's going on, everybody? Just waiting for this stream to pop up on my telephone here so I know we're live. Come on now. All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Exposing Powerful Lies. We're going to start it off as we always do with our intro song, and then I will be right back. So thank you all so much for being here. Please like and share. We're going to play this intro song, and then we'll get started. Alrighty. Welcome to Exposing Powerful Lies, everyone. Hello, hello. Welcome. Might look a little bit different today. I'm trying something different. I got the lamp put somewhere different than normal, and I got the laptop sitting on top of my camping battery. I figured if it's higher elevated, then it makes my double chin look less bad. You know, when we're hitting me from below, it's like, what's up, y'all? So I figured, why don't we raise it up a little bit? Raise it up. Maybe it'll look a little bit better. What's going on, Chairs? Good to see you, homeboy. Good to see you, Crispy Johnson, K Ram, Jason Scholl, Slowboy Whiteboard, Moldy Apple, and all of the lurkers. Nub Ross, what's up, man? Hope y'all are doing good today. We're gonna be kicking pretty much right into today's show, but the only update to show y'all is my St. Gabriel T-shirt came in. Finally, how awesome is that, dude? How radical is that? I just wanted to show you guys the shirt. I'm so happy. It's taking a lot of willpower for me not to just spend all of my money on shirts like this. Like, I found another frickin' probably another 10 shirts and sweaters and hats from the same company. I'm like, oh man. Oh, it would be so easy to spend like $500 at this freaking website, but I settled for just these two shirts for now. So, yeah. Dude, I wore it to church today, and literally I felt like a celebrity. I mean, everybody was just like, yo, yo, that shirt. Even Father Andrew was like, I feel like I have to venerate your t-shirt now when you walk by. Yeah, so anyway, so today, I was sitting around and I'm like, I've been wanting to do this stream for pretty much since we did the stream last week with Basil Analyzer. I've had some stories I wanted to read, do another one of these story reading streams. But I was also like, man, I kind of want to do a radio stream because it feels like it's been a long time, and I kind of miss listening to these radio shows. So basically what I'm planning now is instead of reading the 3 stories that I originally was going to read, I'm going to read one story, and then as long as that story doesn't take forever, we'll kick it into some radio at the end there. Now, I found that CBS Radio Mystery Theater has its own website, and on this website, it's got all of the 1,300 episodes listed. It's got them ranked from like a public ranking system that I still haven't figured out what the hell it means. In fact, I'll show you right now. Let me pull it up on screen here. It's kind of confusing, so maybe y'all will be able to help me here. Where the hell? There we go. Okay, so this is CBSRMT.com, and this is one of the episodes I was thinking about watching today, but let me just back up here. So if you can see on the episode guide, it's got date, episode, title, plot, comments, and then here it's got the ratings, right? And you can click it once for the arrow up, which I assume that's like one of these is highest rated and lowest rated. 1605, I assume big number means good and small number means bad, right? I think it's safe to assume. But, I mean, you got such a wide berth, like 1605. And then some of them are like 200 and some of them are like 90. So I'm like, I don't know what that means. I don't know what the hell these numbers represent. But it's kind of nice because you can click on, say like this one, the old ones are hard to kill. They got a comment section where then you can scroll down. Not only does it tell you all of the people and show you a little picture of the actors and actresses, but it's got comments here, people talking about the episode. So I'm like, well, that's going to be really helpful for our radio shows to be able to like check out some of these shows beforehand and see what people are saying about them. Help me, kind of sort through some of the rubbish. Anyways, so that was kind of cool. So right before the show went live today, I was like scrolling through that website, checking out some different ones. So I got a couple episodes pulled up that we could watch. But initially, when I did this, when I set the stream up, I wanted to read a very short HP Lovecraft story, one of my favorites. It's like a page long, and then 2 Ray Bradbury short stories. But because I want to try to get some radio in, we're just going to narrow it down to the one Ray Bradbury story, which is Skeleton, which I have never read this story before. I've seen it adapted on the Ray Bradbury Theater TV show, which was awesome. I've seen it referenced a bunch of places, but I never actually read the story itself. And then one other story that I wanted to read was The Jar by Ray Bradbury, which again has been adapted into a Twilight Zone episode. I think even the 80s Twilight Zone adapted it, and then Ray Bradbury Theater adapted it, and it's all over the place. It's a great story, but again, one I've never read. I've only seen the adaptations. So we might save that one for the next episode, depending on how quickly we can get through Skeleton, but I just know that this is going to be a good one. Now, I also have music pulled up. We can try it. I'm a little bit nervous. I did do a test stream earlier today where I played the music and I talked over it, and I was like, okay, this should be nice and balanced, but because I can move my microphone here, closer or further away, it's like it can kind of really screw it up. So we're going to try it out, all right? Bear with me, and if it doesn't work, then I'll just shut the music off. And if I really nuke it bad, then we'll just do some radio. But yeah, let's just try this out here. So this story that we're reading is Skeleton by Ray Bradbury. I believe it was published in 1945 in Weird Tales magazine, a nice little pulp fiction magazine for back in the day. What are y'all talking about? I wear my old t-shirts I ain't giving none away. Come on, give me your shirt, dude. You know, slow boy, they always said you'd give your shirt off your back, and here you are, withholding your shirts. Not cool, dude. Alright, let me go ahead and share the screen. Now, the way I'm going to do this music is I'm going to share the screen, but then I'm not going to actually have it pulled up. I'm just going to play the music so you guys can hear it, but I'll just keep my face on the screen here. So I'll just do it like that. Alright. When am I going to do a Philip K. Dick story, Jerry? Why are you running from Philip K. Dick? I could. I mean, it's just, I don't want to do anything that's super long. I don't want to be sitting here for frickin' 5 hours. And I'll have to go and check out if he's got some short stories because, you know, I don't want to do anything that's like crazy long. I mean, Sand Kings was 15 pages and it took us 3.5 hours. So I'm kind of trying to avoid that. I don't buy shirts online anymore because they never fit right. Very inconsistent. Yeah, I always just get large or extra large, and it's like, I just hope. I hope that it'll work. And even the St. Gabriel shirt kind of came in feeling a little tight, but now it's pretty good. Last thing I got online that fit perfect was a hoodie from Death to the World. Yeah, I love Death to the World. I got their little messenger bag from there, but it took like 4 or 5 months to get here. So I was like, that's the... You know, I would totally get a shirt from them, but a lot of times the shirts are sold out, and so that's sort of frustrating. All right. Anyways, let's go ahead and let me pull up the chat on my phone so I can still follow along with y'all while we're doing this. Now I'm gonna start playing this music. Hopefully it's not too loud. Guys, let me know in the chat too if the mixing is way off. Like if I want the music to be very quiet, and I don't want it to be drowning out my voice. So if it does, just let me know. All right. But please let me know in the chat now how it's sounding. I'm sure the music's going to change. I found out it's very difficult to get like royalty-free music that's long. You know, you can find like little tracks here and there, but to find something that's actually good and royalty-free, it's just a freaking headache. You probably use a company that requires a minimum order. Yeah. Death to the World, I'm sure. Alright, let's just get right on into it, because this shouldn't take too long to read, but you never know. So like I said, this is Skeleton by Ray Bradbury, posted in 1945 in Weird Tales. Where's my little box here? I made a banner for it, for people when they roll up. Alright. It was past time for him to see the doctor again. Mr. Harris turned palely in at the stairwell, and on his way up the flight, saw Dr. Burleigh's name gilded over a pointing arrow. Would Dr. Burleigh sigh when he walked in? After all, this would make the 10th trip so far this year. But Burleigh shouldn't complain. He was paid for the examinations. The nurse looked Mr. Harris over and smiled, a bit amusedly, as she tiptoed to the glazed glass door, opened it, and put her head in. Harris thought he heard her say, "Guess who's here, doctor?" And didn't the doctor's voice reply faintly, "Oh my God, again?" Harris swallowed uneasily. When Harris walked in, Dr. Burleigh snorted, "Aches in your bones again? Ah!" He scowled and adjusted his glasses. "My dear Harris, you've been curried with the finest tooth combs and bacteria brushes known to science. You're just nervous. Let's see your fingers. Too many cigarettes. Let's smell your breath. Too much protein. Let's see your eyes. Not enough sleep. My response? Go to bed. Stop the protein. No smoking. $10, please." Harris stood, sulking. The doctor glanced up from his papers. "You still here? You're a hypochondriac. That's $11 now." "But why should my bones ache?" asked Harris. Dr. Burleigh spoke as to a child. "You ever had a sore muscle and kept irritating it, fussing with it, rubbing it? It gets worse the more you bother it. Then you leave it alone and the pain vanishes. You realize you caused most of the soreness yourself. Well, son, that's what's with you. Leave yourself alone. Take a dose of salt. Get out of here and take that trip to Phoenix you've stewed about for months. Do you good to travel some." 5 minutes later, Mr. Harris rifled through a classified phone directory at the corner druggist's. A fine lot of sympathy one got from blind fools like Burleigh. He passed his finger down a list of bones specialists, found one named M. Munigant. Munigant lacked an M.D. or any other academic lettering behind his name, but his office was conveniently near, 3 blocks away, 1 block over. M. Munigant, like his office, was small and dark. Like his office, he smelled of iodoform, iodine, and other odd things. He was a good listener, though, and listened with eager, shiny moves of his eyes, and when he talked to Harris, his accent was such that he softly whistled each word, undoubtedly because of imperfect dentures. Harris told all. M. Munigant nodded. He had seen cases like this before. The bones of the body. Man was not aware of his bones. Ah, yes, the bones, the skeleton, most difficult. Something concerning an imbalance, an unsympathetic coordination between soul, flesh, and skeleton. Very complicated. Softly whistled M. Munigant. Harris listened, fascinated. Now here was a doctor who understood his illness. Psychological, said M. Munigant. He moved swiftly, delicately to a dingy wall and slashed down 6 X-rays to haunt the room with their look of things found floating in an ancient tide. Here, here, the skeleton surprised. Here luminous portraits of the long, the short, the large, the small bones. Mr. Harris must be aware of his position, his problem. M. Munigant's hand tapped, rattled, whispered, scratched at faint yet nebula of flesh in which hung ghosts of cranium, spinal cord, pelvis, lime, calcium, marrow. Here, there, this, that, these, those, and others. Look! Harris shuddered. The X-rays and the paintings blew in a green and phosphorescent wind from a land peopled by the monsters of Dali and Fuseli. M. Munigant whistled quietly. Did Mr. Harris wish his bones treated? That depends, said Harris. Well, Munigant could not help Harris unless Harris was in the proper mood. Psychologically, one had to need help, or the doctor was useless. But shrugging, M. Munigant would try. Harris lay on a table with his mouth open. The lights were switched off, the shades drawn. M. Munigant approached his patient. Something touched Harris's tongue. He felt his jawbones forced out. They creaked and made faint cracking noises. One of those skeleton charts on the dim wall seemed to quiver and jump. A violent shudder seized Harris. Involuntarily, his mouth snapped shut. Munigant shouted. His nose had almost been bitten off. No use, no use. Now was not the time. M. Munigant whispered the shades up, dreadfully disappointed. When Mr. Harris felt he could cooperate psychologically, when Mr. Harris really needed help and trusted Munigant to help him, then maybe something could be done. M. Munigant held out his little hand. In the meantime, the fee was only $2. Mr. Harris must begin to think. Here was a sketch for Mr. Harris to take home and study. It would acquaint him with his body. He must be tremblingly aware of himself. He must be on guard. Skeletons were strange, unwieldy things. M. Munigant's eyes glittered. Good day to Mr. Harris. Oh, and would he care for a breadstick? Munigant proffered a jar of long, hard, salty breadsticks to Harris, taking one himself, saying that chewing breadsticks kept him in practice. Good day, Mr. Harris. He went home. The next day, Sunday, Mr. Harris discovered innumerable fresh aches and pains in his body. He spent the morning, his eyes fixed, staring with new interest at the small, anatomically perfect painting of a skeleton Munigant had given him. His wife Clarice startled him at dinner when she cracked her exquisitely thin knuckles, one by one, until he clapped his hands to his ears and cried, "Stop!" The rest of the afternoon he quarantined himself in his room. Clarice played bridge in the parlor, laughing and chatting with 3 other ladies, while Harris, hidden away, fingered and weighed the limbs of his body with growing curiosity. After an hour, he suddenly rose and called, "Clarice!" She had a way of dancing into any room, her body doing all sorts of soft, agreeable things to keep her feet from ever quite touching the nap of a rug. She excused herself from her friends and came to see him now, brightly. She found him reseated in a far corner, and she saw that he was staring at the anatomical sketch. "Are you still brooding, sweet?" she asked. "Please don't." She sat upon his knee. Her beauty could not distract him now in his absorption. He juggled her lightness. He touched her kneecap suspiciously. It seemed to move under her pale, glowing skin. Is it supposed to do that? He asked, sucking in his breath. Is what supposed to do what? She laughed. You mean my kneecap? Is it supposed to run around on top of your knee that way? She experimented. So it does. I'm glad yours slithers too, he sighed. I was beginning to worry. About what? He patted his ribs. My ribs don't go down all the way. They stop here. And I found some confounded ones that dangle in midair. Beneath the curve of her small breast, Clarice clasped his hands. Of course, silly. Everybody's ribs stop at a given point. And those funny short ones are floating ribs. I hope they don't float around too much. The joke was most uneasy. Now, above all, he wished to be alone. Further discoveries, newer and stranger archaeological diggings lay within reach of his trembling hands, and he did not wish to be laughed at. Thanks for coming in, dear, he said. Any time, she rubbed her small nose softly against his. Wait, here, now. He put his finger to touch his nose and hers. Did you realize? The nose bone grows down only this far. From there on, it's a lot of grisly tissue that fills out the rest. She wrinkled hers. Of course, darling, and she danced from the room. Now, sitting alone, he felt the perspiration rise from the pools and hollows of his face to flow in a thin tide down his cheeks. He licked his lips and shut his eyes. Now, next on the agenda, what? The spinal cord. Yes, here. Slowly he examined it in the way he operated the many push buttons in his office, thrusting them to summon secretaries, messengers. But now, in these pushings of his spinal column, fears and terrors answered, rushed from a million doors in his mind to confront and shake him. His spine felt horribly unfamiliar, like the brittle shards of a fish freshly eaten, its bones left strewn in a cold china platter. He seized the little rounded nobbins. Lord! His teeth began to chatter. God almighty, he thought. Why haven't I realized it all these years? All these years I've gone around with a skeleton inside me. How is it we take ourselves for granted? How is it we never question our bodies and our being? A skeleton. One of those jointed, snowy, hard things. One of those foul, dry, brittle, gouge-eyed, skull-faced, shake-fingered, rattling things that sway from neck chains in abandoned webbed closets. One of those things found on the desert, all long and scattered like dice. He stood upright, because he could not bear to remain seated. Inside me now, he grasped his stomach, his head. Inside my head is a skull. One of those curved carapaces which hold my brain like an electrical jelly. One of those cracked shells with the holes in front like two holes shot through it by a double-barreled shotgun. With its grottos and caverns of bones, its reviments and placements for my flesh, my smelling, my seeing, my hearing, my thinking. A skull encompassing my brain, allowing it exit through its brittle windows to see the outside world. He wanted to dash into the bridge party, upset it. A fox in a chicken yard, the cards fluttering all around like chicken feathers, burst upwards in clouds. He stopped himself, only with a violent, trembling effort. Now, man, control yourself. This is a revelation. Take it for what it's worth. Understand it. Savor it. But a skeleton, screamed his subconscious. I won't stand for it. It's vulgar. It's terrible. It's frightening. Skeletons are horrors. They clink and tinkle and rattle in old castles, hung from oaken beams, making long, indolently rustling pendulums on the wind. Darling, will you come meet the ladies? His wife's clear, sweet voice called from far away. Mr. Harris stood. His skeleton held him up. This thing inside, this invader, this horror was supporting his arms, legs, and head. It was like feeling someone just behind you who shouldn't be there. With every step, he realized how dependent he was on this other thing. Darling, I'll be with you in a moment, he called weakly. To himself, he said, Come on, brace up. You've got to go back to work tomorrow. Friday, you must make that trip to Phoenix. It's a long drive, hundreds of miles. Must be in shape for that trip, or you won't get Mr. Kreldon to invest in your ceramics business. Chin up now. A moment later, he stood among the ladies, being introduced to Mrs. Withers, Mrs. Abelmat, and Mrs. Curthy, all of whom had skeletons inside of them, but took it very calmly, because nature had carefully clothed the bare nudity of clavicle, tibia, and femur with breasts, thighs, calves, and coiffure, and eyebrows satanic, with bee-stung lips, and Lord, shouted Mr. Harris inwardly. When they talk or eat, part of their skeleton shows, their teeth. I never thought of that. Excuse me, he gasped and ran from the room, only in time to drop his lunch among the petunias over the garden balustrade. That night, seated on the bed as his wife undressed, he pared his toenails and fingernails scrupulously. These parts, too, were where his skeleton was shoving, indignantly growing out. He must have muttered part of his theory, because next thing he knew, his wife, in negligee, was on the bed, her arms about his neck, yawning, "Oh, my darling, fingernails are not bone. They are only hardened epidermis." He threw the scissors down. "Are you certain?" "I hope so. I'd feel better." He looked at the curve of her body, marveling. "I hope all people are made the same way." "If you aren't the darndest hypochondriac," she held him at arm's length. "Come on, what's wrong? Tell Mama." "Something inside me," he said. "Something I ate." The next morning, and all afternoon at his downtown office, Mr. Harris sorted out the sizes, shapes, and construction of various bones in his body with displeasure. At 10 a.m., he asked to feel Mr. Smith's elbow at one moment. Mr. Smith obliged, but scowled suspiciously. And after lunch, Mr. Harris asked to touch Miss Laurel's shoulder blade, and she immediately pushed herself back against him, purring like a kitten and shutting her eyes. "Miss Laurel," he snapped, "stop that." Alone, he pondered his neuroses. The war was just over. The pressure of his work, the uncertainty of the future, probably had much to do with his mental outlook. He wanted to leave the office, get into business for himself. He had more than a little talent for ceramics and sculpture. As soon as possible, he'd head for Arizona, borrow that money from Mr. Kreldon, build a kiln, and set up shop. It was a worry. What a case he was. But luckily, he had contacted M. Munigant, who seemed eager to understand and help him. He would fight it out with himself, not go back to either Munigant or Dr. Burleigh unless he was forced to. The alien feeling would pass. He sat staring into space. All right. Let me turn down this music just a little bit because it seems loud on my end. What are we thinking? What are we thinking about the story so far? If her teeth were crystals? Oh, yeah, dude. They straight up crystals. Teeth are skeleton? I mean, dude, you see a skull. Skull's got teeth in it. So this dude is straight up like the worst hypochondriac ever. Double negative would mean he is gay, but the triple negative means he's really not gay. I'm just going back through the chat. Yo. Jerry looks like a good boy without the beard. Thank you, bro. Thank you. She's showing knee. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Scandalous, dude. Yes. This is a ridiculous story. That's why I wanted to read it. There's an episode of Ray Bradbury Theater, which we've watched a few episodes of that on here because I think they're all on YouTube. But that's one we could watch after having read this. Alright, wait, wrong way. Where's the story? Okay. The alien feeling did not pass. It grew. On Tuesday and Wednesday, it bothered him terrifically that his epidermis, hair, and other appendages were of a high disorder, while his integumented skeleton of himself was a slick, clean structure of efficient organization. Sometimes, in certain lights, with his lips drawn morosely down, weighted with melancholy, he imagined he saw his skull grinning at him behind his flesh. "Let go!" he cried. "Let go of me! My lungs! Stop!" He gasped convulsively, as if his ribs were crushing the breath from him. "My brain! Stop squeezing it!" And terrifying headaches burnt his brain to a blind cinder. "My insides! Let them be, for God's sakes! Stay away from my heart!" His heart cringed from the fanning motion of ribs like pale spiders crouching and fiddling with their prey. Drenched with sweat, he lay upon the bed one night while Clarice was out attending a Red Cross meeting. He tried to gather his wits, but only grew more aware of the conflict between his dirty exterior and this beautiful, cool, clean, calcimined thing inside. His complexion, wasn't it oily and lined with worry? Observe the flawless, snow-white perfection of the skull. His nose, wasn't it too large? Then observe the tiny bones of the skull's nose before that monstrous nasal cartilage begins forming the lopsided proboscis. His body, wasn't it plump? Well, consider the skeleton. Slender, svelte, economical of line and contour, exquisitely carved oriental ivory, perfect, thin as a white praying mantis. His eyes, weren't they protuberant, ordinary, numb-looking? Be so kind as to note the eye sockets of the skull, so deep and rounded, somber, quiet pools, all-knowing, eternal. Gaze deep, and you never touch the bottom of their dark understanding. All irony, all life, all everything is there in the cupped darkness. Compare, compare, compare. He raged for hours. And the skeleton, ever the frail and solemn philosopher, hung quietly inside, saying not a word, suspended like a delicate insect within a chrysalis, waiting and waiting. Harris sat slowly up. Wait a minute. Hold on, he exclaimed. You're helpless too. I've got you too. I can make you do anything I want. You can't prevent it. I say move your carpalus, metacarpals, and phalanges, and up they go. As I waved to someone, he laughed. I order the fibula and femur to locomote and hunt. 2, 3, 4, hut, 2, 3, 4. We walk around the block. There, Harris grinned. It's a 50-50 fight. Even Steven. And we'll fight it out, we two. After all, I'm the part that thinks. Yes, by God, yes. Even if I didn't have you, I could still think. Instantly, a tiger's jaw snapped shut, chewing his brain in half. Harris screamed. The bones of his skull grabbed a hold and gave him nightmares. Then slowly, while he shrieked, nuzzled and ate the nightmares one by one, until the last one was gone and the light went out. At the end of the week, he postponed the Phoenix trip because of his health. Weighing himself on a penny scale, he saw the slow, gliding red arrow point to 165. He groaned. Why, I've weighed 175 pounds for years. I can't have lost 10 pounds. He examined his cheeks in the fly-dotted mirror. Cold, primitive fear rushed over him in odd little shivers. I know what you're about, you. He shook his fist at his bony face, particularly addressing his remarks to his superior maxillary, his inferior maxillary, to his cranium, and to his cervical vertebrae. You damn thing, you. Think you can starve me? Make me lose weight, eh? Peel the flesh off, leave nothing but skin on bone? Trying to ditch me so you can be supreme, huh? No, no. He fled into a cafeteria. Turkey, dressing, creamed potatoes, 4 vegetables, 3 desserts. He could eat none of it. He was sick to his stomach. He forced himself. His teeth began to ache. Bad teeth, is it? He thought angrily. I'll eat in spite of every tooth clanging and banging and rattling so they fall in my gravy. His head blazed. His breath jerked in and out of a constricted chest. His teeth raged with pain, but he knew one small victory. He was about to drink milk when he stopped, and he poured it into a vase of nasturtiums. No calcium for you, my boy. No calcium for you. Never again shall I eat foods with calcium or other bone-fortifying minerals. I'll eat for one of us, not both, my lad. 150 pounds, he said the following week to his wife. Do you see how I've changed? For the better, said Clarice. You always were a little plump for your height, darling. She stroked his chin. I like your face. It's so much nicer. The lines of it are so firm and strong now. They're not my lines, they're his, damn him. You mean to say you like him better than you like me? Him? Who's him? In the parlor mirror beyond Clarice, his skull smiled back at him behind his fleshly grimace of hatred and despair. Fuming, he popped malt tablets into his mouth. This was one way of gaining weight when you couldn't keep other foods down. Clarice noticed the malt pellets. But, darling, you really don't have to regain the weight for me, she said. Oh, shut up, he felt like saying. She made him lie with his head in her lap. Darling, she said, I've watched you lately. You're so badly off. You don't say anything, but you look hunted. You toss in bed at night. Maybe you should go to a psychiatrist. But I think I can tell you everything he would say. I've put it all together from hints you've let escape you. I can tell that you and your skeleton are one and the same. One nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. United you stand, divided you fall. If you two fellas can't get along like an old married couple in the future, go back and see Dr. Burley. But first, relax. You're in a vicious circle. The more you worry, the more your bones stick out. The more you worry, after all. The more you worry. After all, who picked this fight? You? Or that anonymous entity you claim is lurking around behind your alimentary canal? He closed his eyes. I did. I guess I did. Go on, Clarice. Keep talking. You rest now, she said softly. Rest and forget. Mr. Harris felt buoyed up for half a day. Then he began to sag. It was all very well to blame his imagination, but this particular skeleton, by God, was fighting back. Harris set out for Monaghan's office late in the day. Walking for half an hour until he found the address, he caught sight of the name Monaghan initialed in ancient flaking gold on a glass plate outside the building. Then his bones seemed to explode from their moorings. Blasted and erupted with pain, blinded, he staggered away. When he opened his eyes again, he rounded a corner. Monaghan's office was out of sight, and the pain ceased. I'm going to go back to... This music is a little too hardcore here. I'm going to go back to the beginning. All right. M. Monaghan was the man to help him. If the sight of his name could cause so titanic a reaction, of course, Monaghan must be just the man he needed. But not today. Each time he tried to return to that office, the terrible pains took hold. Perspiring, he had to give up and swayed into a cocktail bar. Moving across the dim lounge, he wondered briefly if a lot of blame couldn't be put on Monaghan's shoulders after all. It was Monaghan who'd first drawn specific attention to his skeleton and let the psychological impact of it slam home. Could Monaghan be using him for some nefarious purpose? But what purpose? Silly to suspect him, just a little doctor trying to be helpful. Monaghan and his jar of breadsticks? Ridiculous. Monaghan was okay. Okay? There was a sight within the cocktail lounge to give him hope. A large, fat man, round as a butterball, stood drinking consecutive beers at the bars. Now there was a successful man. Harris repressed a desire to go up, clap the man's fat shoulder, and inquire as to how he'd gone about impounding his bones. Yes, the fat man's skeleton was luxuriously closeted. There were pillows of fat here, resilient bulges of it there, with several round chandeliers of fat under his chin. The poor skeleton was lost. It could never fight clear of that blubber. It might have tried once, but not now. Overwhelmed with a bony echo of the fat man's supporter remained. Not without envy, Harris approached the fat man as one might cut across the bow of an ocean liner. Harris ordered a drink, drank it, and then dared to address the fat man. Glands? You talking to me? Asked the fat man. Or is there a special diet? Wondered Harris. I beg your pardon, but as you see, I'm down. Can't seem to put on any weight. I'd like a stomach like that one of yours. Did you grow it because you were afraid of something? You, announced the fat man, are drunk. But I like drunkards. He ordered more drinks. Listen close, I'll tell you. Layer by layer, said the fat man. 20 years, man and boy, I built this. He held his vast stomach like a globe of the world, teaching his audience its gastronomical geography. It was no overnight circus. The tents was not raised before dawn on the wonders installed within. I have cultivated my inner organs as if they were thoroughbred dogs, cats, and other animals. My stomach is a fat pink Persian, torn slumbering, rousing at intervals to purr, mew, growl, and cry for chocolate tidbits. I feed it well. It will most sit up for me, and my dear fellow, my intestines are the rarest purebred Indian anacondas you ever viewed in the sleekest, coiled, fine and ruddy health. Keep 'em in prime, I do, all my pets. For fear of something? Perhaps. This called for another drink for everyone. Gain weight? The fat man savored the words on his tongue. Here's what you do. You get yourself a quarreling bird of a wife, a baker's dozens of relatives who can flush a covey of troubles out from behind the veriest molehill. Add to these a sprinkling of business associates whose prime motivation is snatching your last lonely quid, and you are well on your way to getting fat. How so? In no time, you'll begin subconsciously building fat betwixt you, yourself, and them. A buffer epidermal state, a cellular wall. You'll soon find that eating is the only fun on earth. But one needs to be bothered by outside sources. Too many people in this world haven't enough to worry about. Then they begin picking on themselves and they lose weight. Meet all of the vile, terrible people you can possibly meet, and pretty soon you'll be adding on the good old fat. And with that advice, the fat man launched himself out into the dark tide of night, swaying mightily and wheezing. That's exactly what Dr. Burley told me. Slightly changed, said Harris thoughtfully. Perhaps that trip to Phoenix now, at this time. The trip from Los Angeles to Phoenix was a sweltering one, crossing, as it did, the Mojave Desert on a broiling yellow day. Traffic was thin and inconstant, and for long stretches there would not be a car on the road for miles ahead or behind. Harris twitched his fingers on the steering wheel. Whether or not Creldon in Phoenix lent him the money he needed to start his business, it was still a good thing to get away, to put distance behind. The car moved in the hot sluice of the desert wind. The one Mr. H sat inside the other Mr. H. The one Mr. H sat inside the other Mr. H. Perhaps both perspired. Perhaps both were miserable. On a curve, the inside Mr. H suddenly constricted the outer flesh, causing him to jerk forward on the hot steering wheel. The car plunged off the road into boiling sand and turned half over. Night came. A wind rose. The road was lonely and silent. The few cars that passed went swiftly on their way, their view obstructed. Mr. Harris lay unconscious until very late he heard a wind rising out of the desert, felt the sting of little sand needles on his cheeks, and opened his eyes. Morning found him gritty-eyed and wandering in thoughtless, senseless circles, having in his delirium got away from the road. At noon he sprawled in the poor shade of a bush. The sun struck him with a keen sword edge, cutting through to his bones. A vulture circled. Harris's parched lips cracked open. "So that's it," he whispered, red-eyed, bristle-cheeked. "One way or another you'll walk me, starve me, thirst me, kill me." He swallowed dry bursts of dust. "Sun cook off my flesh so you can peek out. Vultures lunch off me, and there you'll lie, grinning with victory, like a bleached xylophone strown and played by vultures with an ear for odd music. You'd like that. Freedom." He walked on through a landscape that shivered and bubbled in the direct pour of sunlight, stumbling, falling flat, lying to feed himself little mouths of fire. The air was blue alcohol flame, and vultures roasted and steamed and glittered as they flew in glides and circles. Phoenix, the road, car, water, safety. "Hey!" someone called from way off in the blue alcohol flame. Mr. Harris propped himself up. "Hey!" The call was repeated. A crunching of footsteps, quick. With a cry of unbelievable relief, Harris rose, only to collapse again in the arms of someone in a uniform with a badge. The car tediously hauled, repaired, Phoenix reached. Harris found himself in such an unholy state of mind that the business transaction was a numb pantomime. Even when he got the loan and held the money in his hand, it meant nothing. This thing within him, like a hard white sword in a scabbard, tainted his business. His eating, colored his love for Clarice, made it unsafe to trust an automobile. All in all, this thing had to be put in its place. The desert incident had brushed too close, too near the bone, one might say, with an ironic twist of one's mouth. Harris heard himself thanking Mr. Creldon dimly for the money. Then he turned his car and motored back across the long miles, this time cutting across to San Diego so he would miss that desert stretch between El Centro and Beaumont. He drove north along the coast. He didn't trust that desert. But, careful, salt waves boomed, hissing on the beach outside Laguna. Sand, fish, and crustacea would cleanse his bones as swiftly as vultures. Slow down on the curves over the surf. Damn, he was sick. Where to turn? Clarice? Burley? Munigant? Bone specialist? Munigant? Well, darling, Clarice kissed him. He winced at the solidness of the teeth and jaw behind the passionate exchange. Darling, he said, slowly wiping his lips with his wrist, trembling. You look thinner. Oh, darling, the business deal? It went through, I guess. Yes, it did. She kissed him again. They ate a slow, falsely cheerful dinner, with Clarice laughing and encouraging him. He studied the phone several times. He picked it up indecisively, then laid it down. His wife walked in, putting on her coat and hat. Well, sorry, but I have to leave. She pinched him on the cheek. Come on now, cheer up. I'll be back from Red Cross in 3 hours. You lie around and snooze. I simply have to go. When Clarice was gone, Harris dialed the phone nervously. Munigant? The explosions and the sickness in his body after he set the phone down were unbelievable. His bones were racked with every kind of pain, cold and hot he had ever thought of or experienced in his wildest nightmare. He swallowed all the aspirin he could find in an effort to stave off the assault, but when the doorbell finally rang an hour later, he could not move. He lay weak and exhausted, panting, tears streaming down his cheeks. "Come in! Come in, for God's sake!" M. Monaghan came in. Thank God the door was unlocked. Oh, but Mr. Harris looked terrible. M. Monaghan stood in the center of the living room, small and dark. Harris nodded. The pains rushed through him, hitting him with large iron hammers and hooks. M. Monaghan's eyes glittered as he saw Harris's protuberant bones. He saw that Mr. Harris was now psychologically prepared for aid. Was it not so? Harris nodded again, feebly, sobbing. M. Monaghan still whistled when he talked. Something about his tongue and the whistling? No matter. Through his shimmering eyes, Harris seemed to see that M. Monaghan shrank, get smaller. Imagination, of course. Harris sobbed out his story of the Phoenix trip. M. Monaghan sympathized. This skeleton was a traitor. They would fix him for once and for all. "Mr. Monaghan," sighed Harris faintly, I never noticed before. Your tongue, round, tube-like, hollow. My eyes, delirious. What do I do?" Monaghan whistled softly, appreciatively coming closer. If Mr. Harris would relax in his chair and open his mouth, the lights were switched off. Monaghan peered into Harris's dropped jaw. "Wider, please?" It had been so hard that first visit to help Harris, with both body and bone in revolt. Now he had cooperation from the flesh of the man, anyway, even if the skeleton protested. In the darkness, Monaghan's voice got small, tiny, tiny. The whistling became high and shrill. "Now relax, Mr. Harris. Now!" Harris felt his jaw pressed violently in all directions, his tongue depressed as with a spoon, his throat clogged. He gasped for breath. Whistle. He couldn't breathe. Something squirmed, corkscrewed his cheeks out, bursting his jaws like a hot water douche. Something squirted into his sinuses. His ears clanged. "Ah!" shrieked Harris, gagging. His head, its carapaces riven, shattered, hung loose. Agony shot fire through his lungs. Harris could breathe again, momentarily. His watery eyes sprang wide. He shouted. His ribs, like sticks, picked up and bundled, were loosened in him. Pain! He fell to the floor, wheezing out his hot breath. Lights flickered in his senseless eyeballs. He felt his limbs swiftly cast loose and free. Through streaming eyes, he saw the parlor. The room was empty. "Monaghan? In God's name, where are you, Monaghan? Come help me!" But Monaghan was gone. "Help!" Then he heard it. Deep down in the subterranean fissures of his body, the minute, unbelievable noises. Little smackings and twistings, and little dry chippings and grindings and nuzzling sounds, like a tiny hungry mouse down in the red-blooded dimness, gnawing ever so earnestly and expertly at what might have been, but was not, a submerged timber. Clarice, walking along the sidewalk, held her head high and marched straight towards her house on St. James Place. She was thinking of the Red Cross as she turned the corner, and almost ran into this little dark man who smelled of iodine. Clarice would have ignored him if it were not for the fact that, as she passed, he took something long, white, and oddly familiar from his coat, proceeded to chew on it, as on a peppermint stick. Its end devoured, his extraordinary tongue darted within the white confection, sucking out the filling, making contented noises. He was still crunching his goody as she proceeded up the sidewalk to her house, turned the doorknob, and walked in. "Darling," she called, smiling around. "Darling, where are you?" She shut the door, walked down the hall, and into the living room. "Darling?" She stared at the floor for 20 seconds, trying to understand. She screamed. Outside, in the sycamore darkness, the little man pierced a long white stick with intermittent holes, then softly, sighing, his lips puckered, played a little sad tune upon the impoverished instrument to accompany the shrill and awful singing of Clarice's voice as she stood in the living room. Many times as a little girl, Clarice had run on the beach sands, stepped on a jellyfish, and screamed. It was not so bad finding an intact gelatin-skinned jellyfish in one's living room. One could step back from it. It was when the jellyfish called you by name. All right, and that is... yes, bone food. And that is Skeleton by Ray Bradbury. Yo. All right, what we think about that one, dude? My man's ate his bones, bro. My man's Munnigan ate my man's Harris's bones, dude. It was a bad day to wear white pants. Yeah. I love that, dude. It's not so bad to find your husband a puddle of jellyfish-like flesh on the ground, but when it talked to you, that was just that was too much. That was too much for you. Hey, yo, what? Yeah, dude, Jellyfish Man, dude. We end it with Jellyfish Man. Oh, man, dude. This story reminds me of the time I walked through blood and bone in the streets of Manhattan. That's like an average Tuesday, dude. Close your eyes and think of the Red Cross. Yeah, dude. One of these days, I'll show you guys the actual episode of that on Ray Bradbury Theater. It's a good time. The actor they get to play Munnigan he's great. I got to use this frickin' umbrella to prop up the thing back here, and it likes to fall on top of me. All right, so that was our story to read today, and then we'll do radio show for the rest of the stream. I want to try this out, you know. It's sort of experimental. I don't know if I'm trying to figure out the music and stuff and not shutting off the frickin' lamp while I'm out here. Oh my god, got everything going wrong at once. But thank you all so much for being here while I frick with this crap. All right, let's get to the radio thing so I can stand up and frickin' deal with this umbrella that keeps falling on me. Bone snacking, dude. We be snacking on them bones, dog. Yeah. This next story is about an umbrella that attacks me while I'm trying to live stream. All right, so the CBS radio episode we got for tonight is called "The Return of the Moresbys." Never seen it before, never heard it before, but it was highly rated, and so we're gonna go ahead and trust the audience over there at the CBS website. And if it's bad, we can just all blame them, dude. We'll blame them together. It's always fun, jury. Okay, well that's good. That's good. I'm glad. That was wild. Yeah, I love that story. We love porch streams even if your porch doesn't love you. It's revolting, dude. The porch is revolting against me. I can't stand it. All right, anyways. Return to the Moresbys. CBS Radio Mystery Theater. Let's get it, y'all. And I will be right back.
Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. Welcome to the sound of suspense, the fear you can hear. For the next 52 minutes, we're going to take you into the world of mystery, into the world of terrifying imagination. The story you are going to hear concerns a question which has been asked since the first men on Earth were born and died. Is there a life after death? Is there a way to return from the grave? And if there is, can we come back in the body of a living creature? Even one that has claws instead of fingernails? Here is one chilling answer.
Dr. Singh, you have to tell me, could my wife have come back as a bird, a sparrow, something like that?
Well, your wife was a rather big woman, Mr. Moresby, in a physical sense.
How about a snake?
I'm saying she was real big.
How about a cat? A great, big, fat cat? A cat?
Oh, I should probably take this banner down now.
Our mystery drama, The Return of the Moresbys, was written especially for the Radio Mystery Theater by Henry Slessor and stars Patrick O'Neill.
I'll be back shortly with Act One.
Now here is Act One. Like all murders...
I really like this like Looney Tunes style thumbnail they got going on. I wish they all had this.
Stories, sooner or later, it reaches the office of a daily newspaper.
You wanted to see me, Chief?
You better
Dude, the reason why I was like, I clicked on this is, well, number one, it is because it was one of the highest rated on the website, but number two, it mentioned something about a cat, and I'm like, oh, we got another cat episode? All right, let's hear the badly rendered cat noises by some underpaid lady.
See you, Prouty. Come in and shut that door.
I bet I know what it's about. That story I filed on Richard Moresby, right?
I got a flash for you, Prouty. This is a newspaper office, not a fiction magazine. You take this story of yours and see if you can sell it to Weirdo Digest or something. But get it off my desk.
Now, wait a while, Max. I know it's offbeat, but I thought I had
You take your stupid story and try to sell it to Prevert Digest.
with a kind of a light touch.
Stories about murder can't be handled with a light touch, not on this paper.
But it's accurate. I mean, this is exactly what the guy Moresby told me, just before he died.
Well, he
I'll
must
tell
have
you
been
what, I really enjoy reading stories out loud, but it was kind of driving me crazy that I couldn't smoke and read it at the same time, so
out of his head.
I don't know if we're going to be totally replacing the radio with
He
storytelling.
asked for somebody to hear his story. That's how I got to meet him. I was at the hospital covering that subway accident.
No,
I would love to try ostrich eggs, dude.
that story made sense to me. Nothing but nice, clear facts. But this nonsense...
Please, let me tell you about this guy. Maybe you'll change your mind.
All right, what about him?
Well, for one thing, he was a real distinguished-looking guy. The only thing peculiar about him was his eyes.
His eyes.
Yeah, they were the palest blue eyes I ever saw in a man. They weren't really blue at all. They're like silver.
Big deal. So he had silver eyes.
And when he started to tell me about himself, well, I just had to hear the whole story, Chief.
Yes, I was born in
You read
London,
it,
but
too.
my family moved to the States when I was young. They didn't improve much on the climate when they did. We lived in Vermont. I don't think I was ever warm enough until the age of 24 when I moved to Southern California. I lived on beaches. A superb swimmer, a superior surfboarder, and a terrible bum. It was on the beach at Malibu that I met the woman who was to become my wife. Her name was Una. She was as pale as a gardenia with bones. Una had more bones than any other woman I've ever met.
Oh, don't talk about
Lovely day,
bones, dude.
isn't
We've had enough bones for tonight.
I beg your pardon?
I said it's a beautiful day. I don't think I've ever seen the ocean look prettier.
Frankly, the Pacific always looked a little muddy to me.
I wonder if that's what Balboa said when he first saw it.
Well, he probably said, what a great place for surfing.
Ah, I see you have a surfboard.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I think I see a wave that I like. Will you excuse me?
Oh, I wish I had the nerve to try it.
Yeah, you really should. Well, bye now.
Maybe I'll ask my chauffeur to teach me.
I'm sorry. What did you say?
Charles, my chauffeur. He's very good at sports.
Come to think of it, that wave doesn't look so good after all. By the way, my name is Richard. Richard Moresby.
How do you do? My name is Una.
Oh, she got a chauffeur. Well, that changes it.
Una Vandermeyer. That was her name. As soon as I realized that she was from the Vandermeyer family, she didn't seem half as bony as she did before. In fact, not only did I become accustomed to Una's appearance, I was even able to tolerate her inane conversation.
Can't you just feel the mystery of...
Dude, this guy, I was even able to tolerate her mindless droning, retardation, or frickin' the utter lack of intelligence in this ugly of. But she does have money.
the stars, Richard? Sometimes I feel their vibrations as if they're trying to communicate with me. Do you ever feel that?
Well, sometimes, I suppose.
I really think we must be one with the universe, don't you? I really believe there's just one great universal soul.
Yeah, you know, you're all right, but your wrists are too knobby.
We're all part of it. Don't you think so, too?
Yes, of course. Right on, as they say. You see what I mean? She talked that way all the time, from the first day of our honeymoon. Well, it was a fine honeymoon just the same. It lasted a whole year on the beaches of the Caribbean, on the French Riviera. I got browner and browner. Una got freckles. Finally, we returned to our home in Los Angeles and settled down to a quiet, comfortable marriage. What on earth is that you're playing?
That, my friend, is the sound of cultural diversity. That is the new American national anthem. Just wait 70 years. Anyways, I wanted to pause it for a minute. Thank you so much to Jason Scholl. Shouts out to the longtime homie, longtime EPL staple in the chat. Thank you so much, Jason. I really appreciate it. He sent in a $5 super chat. Didn't say nothing. Guys, thank you so much. If y'all like the show and want to support, the super chat links are in the live chat and in the description. We got them pinned in there. PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo. All super chats will be read live. I didn't do this in the beginning of the show, so I'm doing it now. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to be taking all of the donations and stuff and putting them away because the laptop is getting a little bit old, and so I think it's probably good to just start saving for a replacement now, so when it finally craps out, it's not going to take me by surprise. So thank you, everyone, for being here, and please remember to like and share.
Sitar music, darling. Oh, it's just so spiritual.
What made you buy the record?
Spiritual.
Dr. Singh recommended it.
Who?
Notice how it sounds kind of weird? That's spiritual.
Dr. Singh, at the Temple of Metapsychosis, you know.
The Temple of what?
Metapsychosis. I told you about joining the
Metasci bullshits?
temple last week. Oh, Richard, sometimes I think you don't listen to me.
Now, as you may know, Southern California abounds in quasi-religious organizations.
Now, as you may know, I'm extremely racist against Indians and pretty much anybody.
And she'd gone through a number of them without discovering the universal soul at any of their altars.
Darling, please come to one of Dr. Singh's lectures. He's such a magnificent speaker. He emits such vibrations.
He passes the vibe check. He's got such riz. The man is utterly dripping with riz.
And I went. You see what an obliging husband I was? Actually, it turned...
I don't know about basic laptops. I mean, it all depends. Like, what do you mean by basic? You know, because like you can get a Chromebook for $99. Like that's as basic as they come. It's basically just a cell phone that is in laptop shape. I got one of those. Remember when I first got any laptop at all? I bought a Chromebook to see if I could stream with it, but that wasn't good enough. It all depends on what you want to use it for, Jason. But like what I've got here, it's like 12 gigabytes of RAM. Basically like the utter lowest level that is possible for like streaming, with it actually not glitching all day while you're streaming. That's like $1,000, you know, so it's not, that's like a lot of money, you know. That's why I'm just going to start throwing all the extra money I got like in a little account and just try to build up towards it, because it's a big buy. I'm sure you could probably get one for like $600 if you're talking like total basic, but streaming is a little bit more, like, it takes a little bit more. My brother's the tech expert. I don't know too much about tech, but yeah.
Turned out to be more interesting than I thought. The temple itself was unpretentious, and Dr. Singh was an impressive man.
Yeah, 12 gigs of RAM, and that's really not much. Like, I thought that was a lot. I was like, wow, I got 12 gigabytes of RAM. And then my brother's like, nah, dude, like 16 is like the minimum now. I'm like, oh my gosh, dude.
And when he spoke, I realized why his message had such appeal for Una, because he preached a doctrine that combined eternal life.
That's true. I gotta start doing that, dude. That's what I heard. I was watching I think it was Tucker. Tucker had somebody on that was like, these Gen Z, they're buying pizza. They're buying pizza and they pay for it in four installments over the course of a month. I'm like, dude, that's a good call, Slowboy. I should do that. I should get it and have it where I can like pay for it per week or whatever. That's a good idea.
With a love of small animals.
The soul is immortal. The soul cannot die. The soul, upon leaving the body, must make its passage elsewhere. There is a science called eschatology, which deals with the last four things: death, judgment, heaven, and hell. It is the most ancient of all sciences, and from its wisdom has come the inescapable certainty of the transmigration of souls.
You must breathe in deep. Smell the poop. Breathe in.
It's a bit weird, but stay with it.
And where does the soul go? According to the wise men of all generations past, the soul departs from the mouth of the dying. It is consequently a small thing. A bird, a snake, a mouse, a dove, or a hawk, a dog, a cat, an insect. For these small creations of God are empty vessels placed upon earth
And now I squish them under my heel. I stomp on them.
for only one purpose: to house the departing souls of humanity,
To make sweet love with them.
so that they need not wander forever in a trackless eternity.
Yeah, it's pure rot, of course. But that's what the man said. And Una sat there and believed every single word.
Oh, wasn't he marvelous, Richard? Isn't it wonderful that the soul never dies? That we can all come back as little animals?
I'm not
As
sure.
little cockroaches. Isn't it wonderful? We can all come back one day as little cockroaches and butterflies that live for a week and then get hit by a truck and get stuck in the grill of the...
I want to come back as an animal.
But you'd still be you, Richard. Oh, don't you see?
Well, by the way, what was that
Sure, whatever you say.
envelope you handed Dr. Singh after the meeting?
The envelope? Oh, that was my donation, of course.
Your donation to the temple?
Yes, to support the work of Dr. Singh, to open other temples around the world.
Well, how much money was in the envelope?
Now, what does it matter, Richard?
I'm just curious.
$2,000.
Una.
But think of all the vibes we purchased with that 2,000.
Una, you go to that temple once a week. Do you always give that kind of donation?
Oh, it's all in a very good cause, Richard.
I'm trying to raise my vibe, bro.
Well, in an equally good cause, that of finding out exactly how much of my wife's money was supporting this nonsense, I sneaked a look at Una's checkbook. The answer astonished me. Not only had my wife put more than $30,000 into Dr. Singh's collection plate, she had also donated some $20,000 more to various institutions for the care and feeding of cats, dogs, and birds.
Damn.
It was so...
Okay, I'm cool with that one, dude. I'm cool with caring for cats, but I don't know. I would keep Vivekananda Ramaswamy or whatever from your lady here.
kind of you to honor us with a visit, Dr. Singh. I know how terribly busy you are.
On the contrary, you are kind to invite me to your lovely home.
Oh. Now tell me, Dr. Singh, what determines the kind of animal one becomes when the soul escapes after death?
Mrs. Moresby, that is a question which has baffled wise men for countless generations.
What happens is your soul flows through the river Ganges, and it gets filtered through all the raw sewage, and then it goes into my bathroom cup, and then I drink it, and then you become a beautiful butterfly.
But isn't it possible to do, well, research?
Yes, Mrs. Moresby. I don't doubt that we could find the answer to such great questions if only we had the proper resources. But unfortunately, that would require money. A great deal more money than the movement has at present.
Well,
Oh, well, how much do you need? How much do you currently have?
it seems to me
Just put it on the Google Play gift cards.
you don't do badly.
Yo, shouts out to the real John Connor, sent in $10. Oh my goodness, thank you so much, John. He said for 10 Arizonas. Thank you so much, bro. I heard Arizona might have to raise their price because of the aluminum tariffs, man. Oh man, the things we Americans have to put up with. And shouts out to Crystal. Oh my goodness, sending $5. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. She says happy Sunday. Thank you so much, dude. Really appreciate you guys. Do not redeem, sir.
There you are.
Hello, Richard.
Where have you been all morning?
Right here, in my little sewing room.
Don't tell me you were sewing.
Oh, don't be silly. Actually, I've been composing something.
A letter?
Oh, something more important than that. Richard, do you realize that I have no last will and testament?
Well, why should you? Healthy young...
Richard, do you realize that when I die, I'm going to leave every cent I have to Mr. Ramaswamy?
chicken like you?
I can't call myself young anymore, Richard.
You'll always be young to me, darling.
Oh, that's very sweet. But just the same, it's only practical to have a will. Would you read it over, Richard, and see if it sounds legal enough?
Certainly. Let's see now.
Excuse me, but you wrote this in red crayon.
I
I don't know if that's legally binding, ma'am.
Moresby, a resident of the city of Los Angeles, state of California, residing at 8 Sheridan Drive, being over the age of 21 and of sound and disposing mind and memory. Darling, this is superb. Where on earth did you get the language?
Well, to tell you the truth, I copied it out of Daddy's will.
The one that left you 10 million?
Yes.
Well, I don't see how you could go wrong. Let's see now. Not acting under duress, menace, fraud, or undue influence of any person whomsoever. And good Lord, Una,
What's it? What is it? What?
you're not serious about this.
Oh, about making a will? Well, of course I am.
I mean, this bequest to the temple of mumbo jumbo.
What's wrong with it? Now, listen, darling, I told you how important Dr. Singh's work is, but it requires money to carry it on. Tons of money. So the least I can do is to help the poor man as much as I can.
Bro, how much money does it actually cost to tell people they're going to become a gerbil in the next life? I don't imagine that costs very much money.
But you're giving him 90% of your entire fortune.
You'll still have a...
Bro, imagine being cucked by a by some guru. Dude. No, 90%. Oh my goodness. I mean, you know, this guy's a little money-grubbing gold digger anyways, so you can't really feel that bad for him, but my goodness, bro. My homeboy got 10%, and the frickin' booger whistle man got 90.
$1 million if I go first, Richard. Isn't that enough?
No, it isn't. I mean, the whole thing is ridiculous. Don't you realize that man is a fraud, a charlatan?
What?
Oh, for heaven's sake,
Oh,
open your
there goes your 10%, buddy.
eyes. Don't you realize the simple truth? Your money won't build any temples. It's just going to line the pockets of that turbaned phony.
Richard, what a terrible thing to say. Well, you told me you liked Dr. Singh, that you were very impressed by his theory of transmigration.
Darling, I was only saying all that to please you. But now I'm telling you that the only thing Dr. Singh is planning to transmigrate is your money into his savings account. And frankly...
But dear, I want to be Hamtaro in the next life.
I'm not going to let him do it.
Richard, what are you doing? You're tearing up my will.
That's right.
How dare you do such a thing? It's my money, and I'll do whatever I please with
And I need it now.
Ona, darling, I just want you to have a chance to come to your senses.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with my senses. I can see very clearly what the real trouble is. If I didn't leave a will, all my money would go to you, wouldn't it?
Well, naturally, I'm your
I think we need to send her into the old institution there.
husband. You don't have any other
And
evidence.
that's why you're acting this way. It's just plain and simple greed.
Ona, listen to me.
No, it's all right. It's all right. I'm glad you tore up that will, Richard, because I realize now that I was quite wrong.
Do you?
Yes. It's a mistake to leave only 9 million of my money to the temple. I'm going to leave all of it to Dr. Singh.
And just like that, a tragic accident. She fell down the stairs. I don't know what happened, officer.
When Una actually drafted that incredible document and called our attorney for a Monday morning appointment, I realized that I had to do something very drastic before the weekend was over. I had to kill my poor, misguided wife. I had to make her one with the universe.
I had to speed up the reincarnation process.
It's obvious that Mr. Moresby is going to be a very reluctant murderer. The question is, will his reluctance get in the way of his efficiency? We'll get the details when we return shortly with Act 2. let's return to Richard Moresby. In order to find him, we'll have to search the highway, for Richard has taken his white Jaguar out for a spin. But there he is now.
On Saturday morning, I took a little spin in my XKL and did some thinking on the open road. I didn't want to kill poor Una, of course. The whole idea was repellent. But on the other hand...
I had to protect her from herself. She's gonna give all the money away, so I got to kill her so the money don't go to that guy.
The thought of Dr. Singh spending the fortune that was rightfully mine was even more abhorrent. However, I decided I would make one more stab at a reconciliation. Darling, may I come in?
It's your living room, too.
It doesn't feel like it. Matter of fact, I've felt like a stranger in this house for the past 2 days.
I suppose that's my fault.
Well, you haven't been exactly cordial, have you?
I've hardly been home, Richard. I spent all day yesterday at the temple and all morning at the pet rest kennels.
And how are all the little souls doing?
You just won't stop being a reverend, will you? It's been my money all along, hasn't it, Richard? From the very beginning, you were attracted to my money.
It wasn't my vibes. I thought it was my high vibes, but you were just after the cash.
I thought that you would never have married me.
I didn't want to believe it. I don't want to believe it now.
Well, now, how can I prove to you that you're mistaken?
Richard,
Nice.
you really want to prove it?
Of course, I'll do anything you say.
All right.
Then shake this tambourine and repeat after me. Hare Krishna.
I know exactly what you can do. You can let me leave my money to Dr. Singh and the temple.
The whole 10 million?
Yes, because that's the only way I'll know that it's me you love.
All right, now you got to decide. Like, maybe she's just testing you, bro. Like, do you go with it? Do you sit idly by, or do you try to kill her?
Well, you can't say I didn't try. But Una's decision now left me with absolutely no alternative. I was still deeply unhappy about the necessity of taking her life.
Ah, but those are the breaks. That's how the cookie crumbles. Sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. Remember, everybody, whoever guesses how this episode concludes, whoever gets closest gets 5 gold stars. So feel free to take your guesses about how this episode is gonna wrap up, what's gonna happen to him.
However,
Obviously, we know this girl's gonna get killed. I think it's a safe bet to say this lady ain't long for this world. But what's gonna happen to old Gold Digger here?
fate was kind to me that very afternoon.
Now you're sure that you want me to continue reading, Richard?
Of course, darling.
Well, I'm sort of embarrassed about this part. It's a paper that I wrote myself.
Something you wrote?
Yeah, I wrote it this morning. I was going to show it to Dr. Singh. It's it's a sort of a poem. It's called Death.
Snappy title.
Hope I can read my own handwriting. Death has become nothing to me. Death holds no fear for me. Come, death, I welcome you. Lead me to the woods, the waters, the air above the earth. Come, take me, death.
Wow, dear, that's pretty cringe.
Your touch is kind. Richard?
Were you high when you wrote it? I mean, truly terrible.
Oh, Richard, why do you look like that? Is it really that terrible?
Oh, terrible. Oh, no, my darling, it's beautiful.
Do you mean it?
You must give it to me, Una. I must have it.
You like it that much?
Yes, I certainly do.
That's a good call, Slobo. I think that might be where he takes it. He might actually use it as a suicide note, because now he's asking for it. So, if that's what he does, that's gold star territory right there.
Oh, well, I'll type it up for you, Richard.
No, I must have the original. Now, just the way you wrote it.
Oh, darling, I'm so flattered. What will you do with it?
Oh, I'm going to put it in a frame, of course.
Well, first I'm going to shoot you in the face with a shotgun, and then I'm going to leave it right next to you.
And I know just where I'm going to hang it.
Gonna pin it to your lapel.
Yes, I could hardly believe my ears. Una had written her own suicide note in her own handwriting.
Okay, yeah, that's 5 gold stars to Slow Boy right off the bat.
It was truly karma at work. Now there was no question of failure, and no longer any need for delay.
Oh, what a lovely idea this was, Richard. Candlelight dinner for 2.
Yes, I thought you'd enjoy it.
So sweet of you to handle the whole menu with Cook. You spoil me shamefully.
And that night, I spoiled her just a bit more by bringing hot cocoa to her in bed.
Oh, Richard, you shouldn't have bothered.
But I know how you like your hot cocoa before retiring, Una. You can't get to sleep without it.
No, but Parker could have brought it to me.
Oh, no, this is something I had to do myself.
Oh.
Well, yeah, drink it down now.
Yes. I'm drinking it.
Does it taste all right?
Oh, it tastes just fine.
You can't taste the cyanide, are you sure?
Now, that was very good news, because I'd prepared the hot cocoa myself. And I had no idea whether 25 melted sleeping pills would seriously affect the flavor.
Okay.
Finally, Una was all tucked in.
I'm sorry, but what was it, tea she was drinking? She can't taste 25 sleeping... Oh, okay. That's a little hard to believe.
I went into my study, picked up the poem she had written for Dr. Singh, and brought it to the bedroom. I placed it carefully on the night table beside her. Then I bent over my sleeping darling to see if she was getting along all right. She was very, very quiet. And then a dreadful thing happened. Una opened her eyes.
Richard. Oh, Richard.
Hush, darling. Now go back to sleep.
Richard, I'm sick.
No, my love. No, you're only sleepy.
Cocoa tasted so strange. I didn't want to upset you, Richard, but I'm sick.
No, you'll feel much better in the...
Damn, so she did taste it, but she just took it like a champ. She's like, oh, I don't want to hurt his feelings, so I'm going to drink this awful tasting hot cocoa. Maybe she's not a terrible wife.
Morning, Una. I promise you, tomorrow morning you'll be one with the universe.
Richard, that paper.
What paper, darling?
Here's my poem. My poem for Dr. Singh. What's it doing?
I was just reading it over, darling, that's all. And
bottle my sleeping pills. Oh, it's empty. The bottle is empty. Oh, Richard. What have you done?
Nothing, darling, nothing. Now, just go to sleep.
Cocoa. You put
What have you done? You messed up my cocoa real bad.
sleeping pills in it. All of them.
Don't try to get up.
I'm just chilling here. I'm not doing nothing.
Oh, no, please, now don't.
Trying to kill me. You're trying to murder.
No, for heaven's sake, Una, now stop saying things like that. Do you want the servants to hear?
You're getting hysterical. You're acting just like your mother.
Oh, somebody. Help.
Now, come on, lie down. Lie down, Una, for heaven's sake. Come on, now, lie down. Lie down. There. That's better.
You won't get away with it. You won't get away with it, Richard. I promise you.
Anything you say, darling.
I'll come back, Richard. You know I'll be back.
Yes, of course. Just welcome death, Una. The way you wrote in your little poem.
I'll be back. I swear it. Oh.
When you see a gerbil coming for you, it will be me.
The funeral was held 2 days later. It was a magnificent occasion, of course. I gave Una a farewell that was consistent with her vast fortune. Everything was the best. Coffin, flowers, preacher, Everything. Her burial place was one of the choicest bits of real estate at Forest Lawn. The only discordant note was the fact that Dr. Singh insisted on saying a few words at the service. They were familiar words, but frankly, they gave me a slight bit of a chill.
The body of Una Moresby is dead, but her soul lives on. The soul cannot die. The soul is immortal. It has left the earthly remains of this woman and has
And gone into a tapeworm. Yes, she will be a tapeworm in the next life.
sought the body of a small living thing. There it will abide until the Almighty is ready to choose its next home. Mourn not the end of Una Moresby, for there is no end.
I couldn't help congratulating myself on how well everything had gone. When I called for medical attention the night of Una's death, the physician was only too ready to declare her a suicide. The police had to be informed, naturally, and they, too, agreed with the doctor's verdict. Una had died by her own hand, and she had died without a will. There was simply no question that the matter would be probated in my favor. Suddenly I realized I was not only rich, but a rich widower. What vistas opened for me? The devil. Look out, you stupid mongrel! Dog trying to get run over. I admit I was shaken up by it. It was sort of a coincidence, you know? Right after the funeral and all that.
Oh, yeah, that was her big plan. She's going to reincarnate as a dog and run after a moving car.
I was very glad to be home again, you can be sure.
Excuse me, Mr. Moresby.
Yes, Parker?
Cook is worried about the raccoon, sir.
The what?
There's been a raccoon at the kitchen door all morning, and Cook is badly alarmed, I'm
Wait,
afraid.
so what? She's just going to reincarnate as a million different animals? I assumed she would take the body of one animal.
I've tried to scare it away, but it keeps returning.
A raccoon, for heaven's sake? Why don't you just shoot it and make a coat out of it?
I was wondering if you wished me to call the game warden, sir.
Oh, please, Parker, do whatever you please about it. I'm going to take a nap.
Yes, sir. Very good, sir.
I went upstairs at once, undressed, and got into bed. It was a warm day, and yet I found myself cold. I got out the electric blanket and soon felt very cozy indeed. In fact, I felt so much better that I made a phone call. Hello? May I speak to Rachel? Thank you very much. Hello, Rachel?
Dude, I love raccoons. I love raccoons, but we got a lot of raccoons over here. And in the middle of the night, they'll come crawling on this porch, and then they'll get their hands are always muddy, and they get their little muddy paw prints everywhere, and that's making me kind of annoyed at them. But yeah, I love raccoons.
Rachel, you probably don't even know my name, but it's Moresby, Richard Moresby.
Who?
You met me at the club numerous times. I'm the rather distinguished-looking gentleman who sits at the table on the far right corner.
Oh, yeah, well, that's not my station.
Yeah, I know it isn't, and I've always regretted it. Frankly, I would have enjoyed my lunches at the club even more if you had served them.
Listen, I'm pretty busy right now.
Well, what I wanted to find out was if you're busy this evening.
Oh, what'd you have in mind?
Oh, a little, quiet dinner, perhaps?
Is that all you had in mind?
Why don't we just wait and see? I can pick you up outside the club whenever you're free.
Yeah, how...
Nice. I used to do dumpster diving all the time. We had a whole route that we would hit. We'd hit all the Aldis around Buffalo. We'd load up my buddy's car. Dude, you find all sorts of good stuff. One time I dumpster dived a fully working Keurig machine, and like 10 or 15 boxes of K-cups. We had, oh my goodness, dude. I got a million dumpster diving stories. It's definitely good practice, good fun.
I know it's you. I mean, I'm still not sure which gentleman you are.
I'll be sitting in an XKL Jaguar. Do you think you'll recognize it?
A Jag?
We're going to Flavortown on Dumpsters, Drive-Ins, and Dives.
I get off at 6:30.
See you then. Yes, I was feeling very good now. Very good indeed. I would have drifted off into a pleasant sleep except for one thing. For a moment I thought a bomb had gone off in the room. Then I realized it was nothing more than a bird. A foolish sparrow had dived in headfirst into the plate glass window of the bedroom.
Damn.
And now lay stunned.
Yo, maybe this girl just keeps coming back as different animals, and then they keep killing it. Like now she's just she just became like a sparrow and just suicide bombing his window. Yo, that's hilarious. I wonder how many lives it's gonna take her for her to get him.
On the carpet. I looked at the thing's fluttering little heart, and suddenly I was struck by a terrifying palpitation of my own.
It was so that one was got from Bed Bath & Beyond, the Keurig machine. We had like I said, a whole route. There was a donut shop that was on our route that we would hit, and they would bag up at the end of the night all these donuts and bagels, and they'd put it in like a big sealed garbage bag and put it on the top of the dumpster. So you just freaking grab that at the end of the night. And then we would stop by Little Caesars, and at the end, like, there would be a stack of pizza boxes that they just put right in there, and just lift up. I guess we got 10 pizzas and bring it home. But Aldi's was the best, dude. Aldi's just so many different things. You find a bunch of food, but you also find a bunch of, like, slippers. I got a tent from the Aldi's dumpster at one point. You know, back when I was, like, a little anarchy guy, like, dumpster diving was a big part of that, and definitely loved it.
The raccoon? The bird? Good Lord. Could one of them have been Una?
Has Una Moresby returned from the grave? Nonsense. Such things don't really happen. But perhaps we should reserve judgment until I return shortly with Act 3.
I gotta say, her vibes have gotten way higher ever since she became a raccoon.
Now let's see if common sense has returned to our hero. He's doing a sensible thing right now. He's taking a good, refreshing shower.
What do you mean by that, E.G. Marshall? What are you trying to say?
By the time evening came, I was feeling better. All my peculiar notions about Una's animal reincarnation seemed ludicrous as I stood in front of the shaving mirror. I thought about the delicious young woman that was waiting for me at the club. I'd admired Rachel's way with a tray for months, but ever faithful to my wife, I hadn't done more than gaze from afar. But now
that lady, that girl's dead. Now it's up at the club, dude. We going to the club now.
We're gonna be different. Yes, who is it?
It's Parker, sir.
Yes, come in, Parker. It's all right.
Peter Parker?
Excuse me, sir. A bit of emergency in the kitchen.
Well, what is it?
A snake.
A hog has gotten into the kitchen and is rolling around in all of our hot cocoa.
Sir,
A what?
cook insists that there's a snake curled up in the telephone wire.
Oh, that's ridiculous,
Slow
Parker.
boy.
Cook says it's there, Mr. Moresby. They do get into the house sometimes.
Well, tell Cook she's seeing things. Tell her to stop nipping at the cooking sherry, and she'll soon stop seeing snakes.
Yes, sir.
Tell her to stay away from our kitchen, Cocaine, and she'll be fine.
That?
I would guess it was Cook, sir.
Oh, for heaven's sake, go down and see to it, Parker.
I'll try, sir. But I'm not very good with snakes, sir.
Well, what do you think I am, an expert? But that wasn't the end of it. 10 minutes later, Parker was back upstairs saying that the snake had left the kitchen and run into the living room. No, I suppose snakes don't run, they slither. It slithered into the living room and was now embracing still another telephone wire, obviously mistaking it for a long-lost love. But then, another unsettling thought came into my mind. What if the snake... No, that was ridiculous. Hello?
Hi, is this Mr. Moresby?
Yes, who's this?
Rachel, from the club.
Oh, yes, Rachel, what is it?
Listen, could you make it 6 instead of 6:30? I'm trying to sneak out a little early.
Yes, fine, I'll be there as soon as I can.
In the Jaguar, right?
Yes, in the Jaguar.
Listen, the reason I want to leave
And you're bringing money, right? Bring lots of money.
earlier is because my husband who always picks me up at 6:30.
What was that?
So I asked one of the girls I work with to tell him I got another job
Wow, dude.
someplace. He won't care. He likes me to earn extra money.
Yes, I see.
So, just to make the story look good, I guess you'll have to lend me a few dollars after our date.
A few couple of hundred.
Yes, of course.
And listen, I really do remember you, sugar. You're the handsome one with a cute bald head. See you soon.
As it happens, I have a very full head of hair. But distressing as Rachel's telephone call was, and even more
Dude, right, slow boy? That's what it sounded like to me.
disturbing thought intruded. The snake was in the telephone wire.
Wait, what?
If the snake had been trying to listen in on the extension phone?
Wait, what?
I
Bro, what? The snake is in the telephone wire, and then that's how it's gonna listen in. There's no speaker in the telephone wire unless the snake is like jacked into the signal and has some sort of way to turn the signal into audio. That don't make no sense, bro.
knew the idea was absurd, but I couldn't help a superstitious shiver of dread.
Whoa,
In fact, I was-
John, that would be a major plot twist, dude. She reincarnates as the hussy. Like we thought she's all these animals. No, it turned out she just reincarnated as this ratchet asshole.
So troubled that I decided to forego my date with Rachel, the waitress. It wouldn't matter anyway. She'd be angry at some man at the club with a cute bald head. The next day, I did the only thing that really relaxed me. I went to the beach. It proved to be an excellent idea. I stretched out on the golden sand and let the sun warm me. I listened to the waves beating against the shore. I listened to the haunting cries of seagulls circling overhead. Suddenly I was aware that the gulls which had been hovering over the water were now hovering over me. Now, instead of their cries being sad and plaintive, now they seemed menacing. I stood up hastily, but the gulls seemed to be increasing in number. I saw their sharp, pointed beaks, their raking claws. They were predators, of course. How many times had I seen them swoop into a dive and snatch up some poor fish out of the sea? And there was one seagull in particular. Its beady eyes seemed to be staring at me. No, it was my imagination, of course. I wasn't a fish, I was a man, but just the same, I found myself running down the beach. Running for dear life. And that's when I knew it was time to see a doctor.
Doctor, I'm getting attacked by all these animals. What can you do for me? Right? Yeah, it's like birds, and it's also like this like anti-Snow White as well. Like Snow White's one with all the animals, and she's like got the birds fluttering and landing on her shoulder, and this guy's just getting chased by every animal known to man.
Yes, Mr. Moresby. I'm very pleased that you honored the temple with your presence.
I'm grateful that you're willing to see me, Dr. Singh. I realize that, well, you've had a disappointment.
A disappointment?
Well, you see, your wife reincarnated as a songbird, and she perched upon my shoulder and told me what you did, and so you must give me the $10 million, and the animals will stop attacking you then.
I'm afraid I don't understand.
I know my wife made certain promises to you concerning her will.
I believe...
Oh, I was muted. You must drink from the river Ganges?
She mentioned some modest donation.
She wasn't in her right mind, of course. I mean, when she took those sleeping pills.
Yes, it was very sad. I trust that she has found the peace and happiness that she sought.
Frankly, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. I mean, about whether you really believe that my wife is, well, that she's some kind of animal right now.
But of course I believe it, Mr. Moresby. I don't merely believe. I'm positive. When your wife passed from this world into the next, her soul made its escape.
Yes, I know how it goes, but what I'd really like your opinion about is what sort of animal do you think she might be now?
I told you, Mr. Moresby. We have no way of knowing.
But can't you take a guess? I mean, you said it might be influenced by a person's karma. Am I quoting you right?
Yes, the kind of person she was in life may well determine the kind of animal she is now.
She's got great karma, beautiful karma, massive big karmas.
Your wife was soft. Your wife was gentle. Your wife was independent in spirit. Now, what animal does that remind you of?
I don't know. I can't think.
Then go home and think about it, Mr. Moresby. Go home and try to be one with the universe.
I went home, and I tried to be one with the universe. And when that didn't work, I tried being one with a bottle of scotch. I was still in the library, asleep in the
And that worked really good.
big leather chair, when I heard the noise in the cellar. I simply had to investigate. I looked into the cellar and found that one bare bulb wasn't enough for a thorough search. I found a flashlight and went down the cellar steps. At first there was nothing I could see. But then, there's an empty oil can. Swiftly, my flashlight picked out the culprit.
Yo, this girl gonna reincarnate as a frickin' bear. If she was smart, she would come back as a dang bear, hide in his basement and frickin' ambush him.
At first, I thought it would turn out to be a mouse, but instead, it was a large, white cat.
Cat? Dude, she should come back as a mountain lion.
I don't like cats. I never have. Skulking, cynical creatures. When the beam of my flashlight hit it, the cat froze. I saw it was an alley cat. Its fur shaggy, its eyes baleful in the light. It was fat, and yet it was bony, too. I said scat, but it didn't scat. Instead, it started
I said get, but it didn't get. I said shoo, but it wouldn't shoo.
to walk toward me. And I knew for certain what Dr. Singh had meant. I knew for certain I was looking at the reincarnation of my wife. As soon as that hideous apparition howled at me, I made a cowardly dash for the cellar door.
I was hoping, dude. I was praying we would get a bad cat sound effect.
Once I was on the other side, I remembered the hunting rifle that Una had given me for Christmas. It stood unused in an upstairs closet. I found it. I loaded it and brought it back to the cellar. I hadn't fired a rifle since boyhood. I stood on the top of the stairs with my flashlight, picked out the ghostly white form of the cat. I put down the light.
No, don't shoot. You'll only make it stronger.
Raised the weapon and squeezed the trigger.
Yo, Clontarf, what up?
But the recoil was worse. My precarious balance on the top step was lost. I fell to the bottom. I tried to get up again, but the pain in my right leg was agonizing.
How? How did this happen? How did I shoot myself?
I found out later that it's broken. But the cat was still alive. And it was regarding me at eye level now. Its fur matted with plaster dust. Its eyes filled with hatred. I tried to crawl toward my fallen rifle. Just as I saw the creature advancing toward me,
Oh, is she gonna eat his face now that she's a cat?
I screamed, Una! My hand was on the rifle now, grasping it too quickly in my panic. My fingers touched the trigger, the rifle went off again.
Dude, these animal sounds, bro. This show never disappoints. Meow. I wish they would just go all the way. Just have some fat guy do the sound of the cat. Meow. Meow.
Well, that's how Moresby ended up in the hospital, Chief, with a broken leg and a bullet in his hip.
And then he died.
But I think he...
It was pretty pathetic. I mean, seriously, a house cat killed him. I think we should probably change the records just to save him the shame.
was telling the truth. You could see it in his eyes.
His silver eyes, right?
Yeah, his silver eyes.
And you really believe that the guy's wife came back as a cat to get her revenge?
What does it matter? It's still a good story.
It happens all the time, Chief. Don't act like you haven't heard it. It's a tale as old as time.
Sorry, Prouty, I can't okay it.
Well, what if I got more details? What if I talked to this Dr. Singh? If I went to the Moresby cellar and found that cat?
What if I adopt the cat? What if I bring the cat into my house and name it Whiskers and buy it kibble? What if I become the best friends with the cat? Can I have the cat?
And what would you do then? Ask her if she's Mrs. Moresby?
I still think it's worth a try, Chief.
I'll tell you what, Prouty. What are you doing for lunch?
I hadn't thought about it.
Well, think about buying
Look. Let's keep this a professional relationship. I like you, but I don't like you in that way.
lunch.
You?
There's a pretty good restaurant right around the corner where the Moresbys live. Now, we can get a bite there and then check out that cellar. So, this is where it happened, huh?
Moresby fell from these steps when he fired that rifle. Hey, you
What
can
the
still
heck?
see the plaster dust where the bullet hit.
Yeah, I see
Okay, I thought something happened, but the screen just goes black here.
it. But I don't see any white cat.
It might be hiding someplace.
Or it might be a figment of his imagination.
Or it reincarnated again. You ever think about that?
Maybe so. Hold it. Did you hear something?
No.
Listen. There it is. Look.
It's a cat, all right. And it looks like it just found its supper.
Oh, that mouse is still alive.
Yeah, but not for long. Look at it squirm.
He's eating it.
Yep, and there goes your mouse.
Oh, my God.
What's the matter, Prouty? Never see a cat eat a mouse before?
Chief, did you see that mouse?
Sure I saw it.
But didn't you notice something?
Like what?
Its eyes. Chief, did you ever see a mouse with eyes like that? They were so pale blue, they were almost...
Wait, what? Are you telling me that this woman reincarnated as the mouse? That don't make no sense. Come on.
silver.
Oh, I'm stupid. He reincarnated as the mouse and she ate him. Okay. Got it.
And so the cat and mouse game comes to an end.
Nice.
But according to Dr. Singh, there is no end. Perhaps Richard Moresby will have his turn next in another afterlife. I'll be back in a few moments. Do you believe in reincarnation? Do you believe
No.
the dead return?
No.
We have to believe it, because here we are, the reincarnation of radio drama. We hope you'll keep us alive by listening again to the Radio Mystery Theater. Our cast included Patrick O'Neill, Marion
All
Sellis,
right.
Nick Pryor, and Dan Ocko. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown.
Oh, yeah. Anytime one of these stories has a cat, I'm here for it, man. I'm absolutely here for it. You know, that was one of the highest rated episodes on this little guide. It was the second highest rated. We've listened to better episodes, so I don't know if we can really trust this rating system too much, but it was fun. It was a good episode. So thank you all so much for hanging out here. We'll be back again soon. I hope you all enjoyed it, and until next time, I will see y'all on the flip side. Thank y'all so much for hanging out, and thanks to everybody that supports me, the PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, Super Chats, and who hangs out in the live chat, and who leaves comments after the video's done. I really appreciate it, guys. God bless all y'all, and I'll see you soon. Till next time, Lil Ewok signing out. Peace out, y'all.